Weird Things That Happened While We Were in Our Polygamous Cult, Part 10. So we're talking about the Order Bank now. So the Order has a bank that all of the members are required to participate in. It is highly not recommended for us to have outside bank accounts, and I believe this is 100% so that they can control the money and they can control you. So they have two banks that I know of. All the members have their bank accounts, and then we've talked about the 10% forms. We are all required to sign our 10% forms, or else we're not a member of the Order. So we're signing these forms, and then they're able to take 10% out of our accounts, right? They have access to our accounts, so they just take that out, which they take advantage of, especially if they find out that you might be leaving. There's been a lot of stories where people will have rumors going around that they're going to be leaving the cults, and then all of a sudden their money starts disappearing. And this actually started to happen to me, where I never saw a surplus of $2,000, and so I started to ask around, and I heard of this thing called the back account, and people were saying, oh, well, maybe it's in your back account, which I was like, what's my back account? And I went to one of Paul's wives, the same wife that chased me down and basically forced me to sign the 10% form, and I said, hey, where's my back account? How do I get access to this? Because I've been working my whole life and I only have $2,000. And she looked me dead in the eye and said, you don't have one. And I'm 100% convinced that it's because she knew I was going to be leaving.
Obviously, we didn't really know how traditional banks operated or worked, right? But I just understood it as like my savings, and now that I do know how an actual bank works, I would look at it as like a checking and a savings, but you don't get to see what's in your savings. You can only see your checking,
and they're transferring it without your permission,
right? So I remember at the very beginning of every year, our statements that we got, because it was just a paper, we didn't have an app, which now they do, but it was just a paper that they would hand out on the first Sunday of church, or the first Sunday every month. And
it was very confusing. It had do you remember it had a bunch of different amounts on there, and then you were supposed to do math to find out how much is actually in your account?
Yes.
And I think they tried to do that.
Right. So it would show like what you made, obviously, and then like it was very confusing. But at the top, it would show your balance, and at the very beginning of every single year, it would start with 0, unless you were negative. Then I think it would show negative.
And so you're saying that the at the end of the year it would go into the back account, and then that's why it would be 0? Your
Yes.
surplus?
Yes.